G'day.
It's on tonight, so hold on, 'cause we're about to light it up.
Well, that's a first for me. Just got pulled over by the 5-0. Never seen cops out here. Oh well, I'm registered. They were quite happy to let me go. Asked me why I had no rear indicators or tail light, but he was quite happy to take it that I just smashed it off, and the new one hasn't arrived yet. Mr. X, on the other hand, he's what they call unregistered. So yeah, when I meet up with him, we'll be making sure that we stay well away from them. They didn't have bikes or anything, so they're not going to be out roaming the forest. They're just picking people up at popular spots, I guess. Yeah, I'm riding out to meet Mr. X today because we used to ride in together. Now he lives on the other side of the forest, so we're kind of meeting in the middle. The thing about that is I have to be a little bit careful because obviously riding dirt bikes on your own isn't real safe. I'm not saying that you shouldn't do it. I've done it plenty of times before, but yeah, it's just you got to be a little bit careful because if you come off and you eat shit and get pinned under your bike or anything like that, that becomes an issue. And I've been in that situation before where I've ridden by myself and just hit a little rut and went over the hangers, and the bike actually landed on top of me. Luckily I wasn't hurt, but you know, it's 110 kilos of bike laying on top of you in an awkward angle, and yeah, I thought I wasn't going to be able to get out. Luckily, eventually I managed to wriggle my foot loose and get myself into a position where I could pull the bike off me. But yeah, I was under the bike for a fair while, so it can be dangerous. So if you're going to go riding by yourself, just be aware of that and be careful. Ride well below your limits when you're by yourself. I've actually realised part of the reason that keeping my fingers, or keeping one finger on each of the levers all the time, I've figured out why that feels so unco to me. Apart from the fact that it's not something I'm used to doing, I've realised that my levers are in the complete wrong spot for the standing position, which is where I spend most of my time. So yeah, it puts a bit of an awkward bend on my wrist, which is why my fingers are getting so tired so quick. They're probably not sort of getting enough blood flow because of the angle of my wrist. Of course, I wasn't smart enough to fix that before I came out. That'd be too fucking clever, wouldn't it? Now, the question is Mr. X going to be here? We're not the most organised people in the world, and usually our timing's all out of whack. We managed to meet up at the right time yesterday, but it doesn't look good. On the plus side though, I've beat him here, so that means he's late, not me. What a fucking mint day. And a beautiful area for a ride. I really do feel sorry for anyone who doesn't ride a dirt bike right now, eh? So Mr. X showed up. He's a little bit spooked about the cops. Saw a couple of other riders coming up the road, and naturally he assumed that they were cops, and he kind of took off. So I'm heading down now to meet him, but yeah, I spoke to those guys. They weren't the police, but they did say that they had also been pulled over by the police on the other side of the forest, and the police have told them that essentially we're surrounded. Essentially, I don't know to what extent, but they're saying that they've got quite a few groups around this forest, and yeah, I don't know. Obviously I'm safe because I'm registered. Mr. X's bike has run out of rego. It was registered, but it's run out, and I don't know if it's going to be worth risking, to be honest. So we'll see how he feels about it. It's his decision. It's him who's going to get fucked in the ass without lube over this. So we're heading back to Mr. X's car now to make a decision as to whether we're going to keep riding or not. I don't know, like I said, it's not really my decision to make, but if it was me, I don't think it's worth the risk. That nearly got me. It's the thing with riding dirt bikes, you just never know when something like that's going to pop up. Come around any given blind corner on any kind of track, you know, like this track. Looks fairly flat, fairly nice, kind of, oh yeah, probably drive your fucking Commodore along here. And then come around a corner and there's something like that, you know. Like that. Or like this. Or a car coming back the other way. So we've called it a day. We've decided it's probably a safer bet to just go fishing today. So yeah, he's loading his bike back onto his car, and I'm heading back through the forest, even though that is the ridiculously long way around for me to get back home. I don't like riding this thing on the tarmac more than I have to, because it just fucking tarmac chews dirt bike tyres to bits, and yeah, it's probably a good sort of 15 k's home, if not more, from here by tarmac. It's probably 20 k's by dirt, but at least the dirt doesn't wear out the tyres anywhere near as bad, and I can have a little bit of fun as well. Hopefully I don't ride back past those cops and they decide that this time they're going to defect me. Oh, it nearly got me again. I'm sure up there is where I want to go, but I just don't know this area that well. So I'll just go back the way I came, and that way I know I'm getting out of here. It's also not a great idea to go exploring new areas when you're riding by yourself. As much as that's some of the best riding you can do is exploring new areas by yourself, but the problem is if you do come off and you've got to call for help, how do you know where to call? You know, where do you say you are? You know, when you're exploring a new area, you don't have a fucking clue where you are. So if you come off and you really hurt yourself, or you get trapped under your bike and you need to call for help, whether it be from your family or friends, or whether you actually need medical assistance, yeah, you got no idea where to call them to. So that's it, guys. Nothing too exciting. Saw cops out in the forest for the first time and it pretty well ruined my day. But yeah, heading home now. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Not gonna lie to you, it's pretty
be fucking uncomfortable having the fresh coated on and need a body shape. I'll even go so far as to say it hurts a little bit. Any of you guys who watched my last video will know that I shattered the back end of my bike. I haven't actually gotten around to replacing the rear fender or the tail light yet, but I did a bit of a makeshift sort of shed fix before I come out today. I'll post some photos of that here. I thought you guys might like to see that. It's potentially either the cleverest or the dodgiest thing I've ever done. I can't decide. It might be both. We don't know.